Hi, Peter Charles here of Hooked for Life Fly Fishing. And today we're going to do another Atlantic salmon pattern. It's called The Priest. It's by Reverend J. Smith. What's it? Elmer J. Smith. I knew I said that wrong. From New Brunswick. It's a white pattern. And I think what's interesting about white patterns is they can run, a lot of fish will take a white fly. Browns love white flies. You can get smallmouth on white flies. So steelhead, I'm sure there's a bunch of species that'll take a white fly. So though this is designed for Atlantic salmon, we're going to, think of it as pretty well anything fly. So our hook is going to be a low water salmon single. I mean, if you just had streamer hooks, tie it on a streamer hook, doesn't matter. We have the 8/0 black Vivas thread as usual. Our rib is a medium French oval. Our hackle the throat and the tail is white hackle, saddle hackle, using white yarn for the body. They recommend fluorescent yarn. I'm not sure if this is fluorescent or not. And the wing, we're going to be using calf tail. It calls for white goat hair, but calf tail will work if you don't have any white goat. So let's get started. Now, because we're using wool, I'm not going to worry too much about color bleed through, so I don't have any problems with black thread. Okay, we tie in our rib. We're going to use the same the same tinsel for both the rib and the tag. Now we'll just bend that back, put a couple of wraps to hold it in place. Now we're going to put on our tail. Let's get some white hackle here. This one has a nice splay to it. That's going to look good in the water. There we go. I've kept that tail fairly short. That's how it's shown in the pattern book. Tie in our wool. So you put a wrap right in the back to crowd into the tail. I'm keeping very tight tension on the wool, and then as I come off the bump, I relax the tension so it fluffs up. So that way I get to minimize that bump. Bring it up on the return, come back. Again, as you come up on the return, come up on that bump, tighten up your tension to flatten the wool, cover any black you might see showing. Come back, keep it tight, and then as you come off the bump, relax. So as you can see, I've taken the bump right out of that, just by using tension on the wool. And it helps to flatten out the wool as you're on the bump. Then you relax tension as you come off the bump and the wool fluffs up. Okay, now for our silver rib. What you can do if you want, you can put a wrap right at the back. Make sure the tail doesn't move. It comes forward. Now, at this stage, the pattern book calls for a hackle to be wound as a collar and then pull down into the throat. I'm not going to bother. You can get a decent looking throat just by grabbing a good chunk of the hackle here. And what you can do, if you don't feel it's full enough, you can easily just put a second layer on. So I'll cut that off. Then I'll come and grab some more. There you got your throat, as full as almost as full as it would be if you wound it. Like I said, I'm not going to get too carried away with winding. A lot of this hackle I have is old, cheap, bent. It's not great stuff. So it can be frustrating to use sometimes. So I bring my thread to the back and we'll take a little bit of calf tail. The wing is about as long as the hook. There we go. Trim that off. And as I said before, you can really reef down on this Vivus 80 thread without any problem at all. And then you put soft wraps at the back, both to fill up the space of the head and also to keep things from getting a little too spiky. You know, everything flared out. Okay, now for a whip finish. And some UV. Yeah, it looks like that wool is fluorescent, getting a nice glow off of it. And you can see the hackle is not fluorescent, but the calf tail is. So that's good to know. Okay. Good. So there's our priest. I like the look of white flies for, as I say, for browns. I'd swing this for smallmouth, no problem. And as I say, Atlantic salmon and steelhead, yeah, they'll take it for sure. So there we go. The priest. Give it a try. Nice simple pattern and a quick to tie. Cheers.